Welcome back to Alpha Core Health, one where we decode the science of vitality for the modern man. Picture this scenario that plays out in homes across the UK every single day. You are doing exactly what the health experts told you to do by carrying a water bottle and drinking 2 liters daily, yet you still feel exhausted. You wake up with brain fog, your joints feel stiff, and you are visiting the bathroom every hour on the hour, which ruins your sleep. The brutal truth that most men over 50 do not realize is that drinking plain filtered water might actually be washing away your vitality. It can dilute your essential electrolytes and cause your blood vessels to constrict rather than relax, which kills your energy levels. Today, we are going to uncover the missing mineral that turns plain water into high-octane fuel for your cells and restores the powerful blood flow of your younger years. If you are ready to reclaim your energy and stop running on empty, then please type the word STRONG in the comments below right now. We must begin our journey by clearing your name, because you are not doing anything wrong on purpose, and you are following the advice you have heard for decades. For years, we have been told that hydration is simply about volume, and that if we drink 8 glasses a day, we will be healthy. However, as we cross the threshold of 50 years old, the internal landscape of our biology changes in fundamental ways that we must address. The mechanism that allows your cells to hold on to water begins to decline, and the cellular membranes become less permeable to plain fluid. When you drink large amounts of plain tap or filtered water without minerals, it does not stay inside your cells where it is needed. It passes straight through your system and acts like a flash flood that washes through a dry riverbed without sinking into the soil. This is exactly why you can drink water all day long and still have dry skin and a dry mouth and feel thirsty. We call this the leaky bucket effect, and it is a major reason why men feel depleted even when they are trying their best to stay healthy. When you consume water that is devoid of minerals, it enters your bloodstream and immediately dilutes the delicate balance of sodium and potassium. Your kidneys, which are the master chemists of the body, sense this dilution and panic because they need a precise balance to keep your heart beating. To protect you, the kidneys immediately flush that excess water out into your bladder to restore the concentration of electrolytes in your blood. This creates a frustrating cycle where the more plain water you drink, the more you urinate, and the more minerals you lose. You are essentially rinsing your battery acid and expecting the car to start, which simply will not happen in a biologically aging system. This constant flushing removes vital nutrients that your heart and muscles need to function and leaves you in a state of voluntary dehydration. The water is entering your mouth, but it is never actually hydrating the deep tissues or the brain cells that require moisture to fire signals. This is why you might feel that afternoon crash or that sudden wave of fatigue that coffee simply cannot fix no matter how much you drink. It is a physiological misunderstanding between your habits and your aging kidneys that requires a new strategy to fix. We have to stop treating our bodies like a simple container that just needs filling and start treating it like a complex chemical lab. The water needs a chaperone to guide it into the cells, and without that chaperone, it will just leave the building immediately. The consequences of this cellular dehydration go far beyond just having a dry mouth or feeling a bit thirsty during the day. When your cells are dehydrated, they cannot produce energy efficiently because the mitochondria need a fluid environment to work. This leads to a systemic slowdown where your metabolism drops and your mental sharpness begins to dull significantly. You might find yourself searching for words or forgetting why you walked into a room, which we often blame on age but is often hydration. Furthermore, when your blood volume drops, because the water is not staying in the veins, your heart has to work much harder. It has to pump faster and with more force to move a lower volume of liquid to your extremities and your brain. This places a subtle but constant strain on your cardiovascular system that wears you down over weeks and months and years. You might notice that your stamina in the gym is not what it used to be, or that you get winded walking upstairs. These are not necessarily signs that your heart is failing, but signs that your blood volume is not optimized for performance. It is a hydraulic issue rather than a mechanical failure of the pump, and hydraulic issues can be fixed with the right fluid mix. We need to shift your mindset from simply drinking water to properly hydrating your biology, which are two very different things. This leads us directly into the second major problem, which is the stagnation of your circulation and the thickening of your blood. When your body enters this state of constant flushing and mineral loss, the liquid portion of your blood, known as plasma, decreases. Imagine the difference between pouring a fine red wine and pouring a thick tomato sauce and how they move through a tube. When you are dehydrated at a cellular level, your blood becomes more like the sauce and less like the wine, which is dangerous. It becomes viscous and thick, which makes it incredibly difficult for it to move through the tiny capillaries in your body. These microscopic blood vessels are responsible for delivering oxygen to your eyes, your ears, your brain, and your extremities. When the blood is too thick to push through these tiny channels efficiently, your body makes a strategic decision to prioritize survival. It pulls blood flow back from the extremities to keep the core organs like the heart and lungs and liver fully oxygenated. This is why so many men over 50 complain of having cold hands and cold feet even when the room is warm. It is also why you might notice that small cuts on your legs take longer to heal than they did when you were 30. But there is another area that suffers greatly from this withdrawal of blood flow, and it is often a source of silent shame. The reproductive system relies heavily on the ability of blood to move freely and quickly into very small vessels. Many men rush to their GP asking for testosterone replacement therapy because they notice a decline in function and desire in the bedroom. While hormones are important, the root cause is often what I call circulation starvation due to poor hydration habits. If the blood is too thick and the volume is too low, no amount of testosterone will force it into those tissues. It is a plumbing issue, not just a hormonal one, and it needs to be addressed by changing the quality of the fluid. When your circulation stagnates, your tissues are literally starving for oxygen and nutrients that are floating right past them but cannot get in. This creates a state of low-level suffocation for your muscles, which leads to that feeling of heavy legs when you walk. Your brain also suffers because it consumes 20% of your oxygen, and if delivery slows down, so does your thinking speed. You might feel a lack of motivation or a sense of apathy that you mistake for depression or just getting old. It is actually your brain conserving energy because it does not have the resources to run at full capacity. We must realize that circulation is the river of life, and when the river runs dry or turns to mud, life struggles. The endothelium, which is the inner lining of your blood vessels, needs constant shear stress from flowing blood to stay healthy. When flow reduces, the endothelium becomes stiff and less responsive, which sets the stage for high blood pressure. This stiffness creates a vicious cycle where the heart pumps harder against resistance, which raises pressure and damages the vessels further over time. Breaking this cycle requires us to thin the blood naturally by restoring plasma volume and relaxing the vessel walls. We cannot do this by just drinking more plain water because, as we learned, that just runs straight through the system. We need to introduce the missing element that tells the blood vessels to open up and allows the water to stay. This is the secret to turning back the clock on your circulatory health and regaining the warmth and vitality of youth. This brings us to the solution and the missing link that connects hydration to blood flow and energy levels in the body. The mineral that most British men are critically deficient in without even knowing it is magnesium. Think of your body as a complex system of valves and pumps that are controlled by electrical signals from minerals. Calcium is the mineral that causes things to stiffen and contract and excite, which is useful for muscle flexing. Magnesium is the mineral that causes things to soften and relax and expand, which is vital for blood flow and recovery. After the age of 50, many men end up with an excess of calcium in their soft tissues and a severe lack of magnesium. This imbalance causes your arteries to remain in a state of chronic low-level contraction or tightness, which restricts flow. Magnesium is the key that unlocks the door to your cells and allows water to enter and stay inside. It acts as a cofactor for over 300 enzyme systems, including the ones that regulate your blood pressure. More importantly, magnesium is absolutely essential for the production of a molecule called nitric oxide in your blood vessels. Nitric oxide is a gas that signals the smooth muscle lining of your arteries to relax and widen dramatically. When your magnesium levels are low, your body cannot produce enough nitric oxide, and your vessels remain clamped down and tight. This means that no matter how much water you drink, it is trying to squeeze through a narrow pipe rather than a wide open channel. When you restore magnesium levels, you essentially flip a switch that tells your entire vascular system to take a deep breath and relax. The blood vessels dilate, which immediately lowers the resistance against your heart and allows blood to rush into the capillaries. This brings warmth back to your hands and feet, and oxygen to your brain, and fuel to your muscles. It also allows the water you drink to be transported across the cell membrane, so you actually get hydrated. You stop peeing every hour because the water is now being used by your tissues rather than being rejected by them. This mineral is the master controller of relaxation, and without it, you are living in a state of physical tension. Many men live their entire lives in this state of tension, assuming it is just stress or the weight of responsibility. But chemically, it is simply a deficiency that prevents the nervous system from switching into a calm and recovery mode. When you have enough magnesium, your muscles loosen up and your heart rhythm stabilizes and your mind settles down. It is the difference between driving a car with the handbrake on versus driving it freely and smoothly down the motorway. If you have found this information about blood flow helpful so far, please type the word strong in the comments below. You might be wondering why you are deficient in magnesium if you eat a relatively healthy and balanced diet with vegetables. The uncomfortable truth is that the modern world is designed to steal magnesium from your body at every possible turn. First, we must look at the soil, because intensive farming practices over the last 50 years have depleted minerals from the ground. A vegetable grown today has significantly less magnesium than the same vegetable grown in the 1950s or 60s. So even if you are eating your greens, you are likely getting far less of this mineral than your grandfather did. Secondly, our digestive efficiency declines as we age, specifically the production of stomach acid, which is needed to separate minerals. Without strong stomach acid, your body cannot extract the magnesium from your food effectively, no matter how well you chew. Then we have the lifestyle factors that act as thieves in the night, robbing you of what little magnesium you absorb. Stress is the biggest culprit because every time you get angry or worried, your body dumps magnesium into the urine. It is the first mineral to be sacrificed during the fight or flight response, which many of us are in constantly. Alcohol is another major drain on your stores because it acts as a diuretic and forces magnesium out through the kidneys. Even that glass of wine with dinner or a pint at the pub contributes to the depletion of your reserves over time. But perhaps the most significant factor for men over 50 is the use of prescription medications that interfere with absorption. Diuretics used for blood pressure force the body to excrete minerals, including magnesium, at an alarming rate. Proton pump inhibitors taken for acid reflux reduce stomach acid so much that mineral absorption becomes almost impossible. Even statins and some painkillers can have an impact on how your body utilizes and stores this vital nutrient. You are essentially trying to fill a bathtub while the plug is out and the drain is wide open. This creates a situation where dietary intake alone is rarely enough to correct a deficiency that has been building for decades. This is why we see so many men with normal blood tests who still suffer from all the symptoms of deficiency. Standard blood tests only measure the magnesium in the serum, which is about 1% of your total body stores. Your body will steal magnesium from your bones and muscles to keep blood levels normal to prevent a heart attack. So your blood test looks fine, but your tissues are starving and your bones are becoming brittle and weak. We have to overcome this absorption trap by being smarter about how we put magnesium back into the system. We need to bypass the lifestyle drains and the digestive inefficiencies to ensure the tank gets refilled. Now that we know we need magnesium, the biggest mistake men make is going to the chemist and buying the wrong kind. Not all magnesium is created equal, and choosing the wrong one is literally like flushing your money down the toilet. Most of the cheap supplements you see on the high street contain a form called magnesium oxide, which is essentially chalk. Your body absorbs only about 4% of magnesium oxide, which means 96% of it stays in your gut. This unabsorbed magnesium draws water into the intestines and causes loose stools or diarrhea, which actually dehydrates you further. It is a laxative masquerading as a supplement, and it will not help your blood flow or your energy levels one bit. To get the benefits we have discussed, you need to look for forms that are chelated or bound to an amino acid. Magnesium glycinate is one of the best forms for men over 50 because it is bound to glycine, which is calming. It has high absorption rates, and it does not irritate the stomach or cause digestive disaster like the cheaper forms. It is particularly good for relaxing stiff muscles and helping you get a deep restorative sleep, which helps testosterone. Another excellent option is magnesium malate, which is bound to malic acid and is involved in the energy production cycle. This form is fantastic for men who suffer from daytime fatigue and muscle weakness, as it feeds the mitochondria directly. If you are looking for a simple way to mineralize your water, you can also use a high-quality sea salt. Celtic sea salt, or Himalayan pink salt, contains magnesium, along with 80 other trace minerals that help water absorption. Taking a single crystal of Celtic salt on your tongue before drinking water helps get the water into the cells. This mimics the natural spring water our ancestors drank, which was rich in minerals from flowing over rocks. It signals the body to retain the fluid rather than flushing it and helps to maintain blood volume. You have to be a label detective because many brands use a blend and hide the cheap oxide in the fine print. Look for supplements that explicitly state they are 100% bisglycinate or malate to ensure you get what you pay for. Avoiding the marketing hype and sticking to the chemistry is the only way to get results. If you are enjoying these insights and want to master your health, please subscribe to Alpha Core Health 1 right now. By subscribing, you ensure you never miss our weekly deep dives into the topics that matter most to men. We are building a community of men who refuse to accept decline as inevitable, and your support helps us grow. So how do we put this all together into a daily protocol that fits into your life without hassle? The first rule is to stop drinking plain water by itself, especially away from meals when you have no food minerals. Every time you fill your water bottle, add a pinch of high-quality sea salt or use a sugar-free electrolyte powder. This turns your water into a hydrating solution that your body recognizes and holds onto rather than excreting. Aim to drink the bulk of your water earlier in the day so you are not waking up at night to use the loo. The second step is to introduce a high-quality magnesium glycinate supplement into your evening routine about an hour before bed. This timing is crucial because it takes advantage of magnesium's natural ability to calm the nervous system and prepare you for sleep. Start with a conservative dose and work your way up to ensure your digestion handles it well and you feel comfortable. Consistency is far more important than intensity, so make this a non-negotiable part of your nightly wind down. Do not expect miracles overnight because your body needs time to repair the years of deficiency and rebuild tissue stores. It typically takes about 2 to 4 weeks for your blood vessels to regain their elasticity and for levels to saturate. During this time, you should pay attention to the subtle signs that your body is finally getting what it needs. You might notice that your hands and feet are warmer when you are sitting still, watching the television. You might find that you are sleeping through the night without needing to get up, or that you wake up feeling refreshed. Your brain fog will start to lift, and you will find it easier to concentrate on tasks for longer periods. Eventually, you will notice that your physical stamina has improved, and you are not getting winded as easily during exertion. These are the signs that your blood volume has been restored and your circulation is flowing freely to every corner of your body. It is a process of revival that starts at the cellular level and works its way out to your visible performance. You are literally reinflating your cells and relaxing your arteries to allow life to flow back into them. This protocol is not a quick fix, but a lifestyle adjustment that pays dividends for the rest of your life. It is about working with your physiology rather than forcing it or ignoring the signals it is sending you. If you are ready to commit to this protocol and reclaim your vitality, please comment strongman below. We have traveled a long way today, from the simple glass of water to the complex biology of your blood vessels. You now understand that hydration is not just about water, but about the minerals that direct that water. You know that plain water can sometimes work against you as you age by diluting your precious electrolytes. You have discovered that magnesium is the master key that relaxes arteries and allows oxygen to reach your starving tissues. And you have the tools to choose the right form of this mineral and avoid the waste of cheap alternatives. This knowledge gives you the power to take control of your aging process rather than being a passive victim of it. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal and restore itself if you simply give it the raw materials it requires. It is not about fighting age, but about supporting your biology as it changes so you can remain strong and capable. Imagine having the energy to play with your grandchildren or the stamina to travel and enjoy your retirement years fully. Imagine having the mental clarity to learn new skills and the physical confidence to stay active and independent. This is all possible when your circulation is healthy and your cells are fully hydrated and energized. It starts with that next glass of water and the decision to add a little pinch of salt or a supplement. However, I must leave you with a very important medical disclaimer that you must listen to carefully. The information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not medical advice. I am a narrator sharing research, and I am not your personal general practitioner or specialist. You must absolutely never stop taking your prescribed blood pressure or heart medications without consulting your doctor. While magnesium is generally safe, it can interact with certain antibiotics and heart medications and kidney issues. If you have kidney disease or are on dialysis, you must not take magnesium supplements without strict medical supervision. Your kidneys are responsible for clearing excess magnesium, and if they are damaged, levels can build up to dangerous heights. Always speak to your GP before starting any new supplement regimen to ensure it is safe for your specific history. We want you to be healthy and safe above all else, so please use this information responsibly. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today on Alpha Core Health 1. We appreciate your trust and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please leave a comment sharing your thoughts on your current health journey. Here is to your health and your strength.